Hi, this is Scott with the Confluence Fly Shop in Bellingham, Washington, and today we are going to tie which I think might be the greatest smallmouth bass streamer pattern ever created. And I didn't create this one, but it's been around for quite a while and always continues to produce. This is a fantastic fly. We are going to tie a Murdich Minnow today. In my vise, I've got a size 2 Gamakatsu B10S. This is a wide gap stinger hook, one of my favorite smallmouth hooks. This fly's been a good producer too for bull trout and any other large predatory fish. It's a great minnow pattern. It will have a tendency to suspend kind of midway through the water column, so it doesn't sink super fast, but it's going to swim horizontally in the water like a real bait fish would, and catches a lot of fish. So we're going to start by tying in the tail, and I am going to use some white bucktail. Get rid of any of those little pieces underneath. And I don't want my tail to be super thick, so I've decided I've got a little bit more, or started out with a little bit more than what I really needed, and I'm kind of pulling a little bit out there. That's about what I want. So we're going to go about twice the length of the shank. And I'm actually going to wrap over those butts up toward the eye. That's going to help ensure that I've got a nice even underbody on this fly. So now that I've got that out of the way, we're going to tie in some flash. I've got a little bit of just opalescent lateral scale. And I'm going to take 4 or 5 full-length pieces of flash there. And we're going to center tie that on top of the hook shank and then fold that back over the tail. And I'm going to trim this flash just a little bit longer than the bucktail. That's going to create a lot of sparkle, a lot of movement in the water. Next, we're going to do a little bit darker color flash. I sometimes use silver for this one, but in this case I'm going to use the gunmetal or blue steel Flashabou. This is Flashabou number 6916. And I'm going to put that right over the top of the lateral scale. I find this is a good color combo in Lake Whatcom for imitating the abundant kokanee in the lake, which is a real important food source for the smallmouth. But another color combo I like is gold, and then kind of a white and yellow fly. So I've got my tail out of the way. Now we're going to build kind of a transitional piece here for the body, and for that think the original used white EP fiber. That would certainly work, but I've got some UV pearl ice dub, and I'm just kind of straightening that out with my hands. And then we're gonna just form that around the hook in the middle. And then build a little thread dam in front of it. This kind of helps eliminate the gap between the tail and the body, and will give you a much more tapered fly in the finished product. It'll also add a little bit of flash as well, just to get that same continuity with the body. We're going to take a little bit more of our gunmetal Flashabou. Does not need to be as long this time around. We'll tie that in on top of the shank, fold it back, and then we're going to trim that much shorter there than the original Flashabou. So this fly will have some moving parts and really look alive in the water. Now for our body material, we can use all sorts of different things. What we're looking for is a kind of a bulkier chenille type material. I've tied a lot of these in the past with like Grande Estaz in the pearlescent color. For this one, I'm going to use a product called Chocklett's Finesse Body Chenille in the large clear. This material is historically kind of used as the main component in tying game changer flies, but I find it makes an excellent body material for tying my Murdich Minnows as well. So I've kind of recommissioned it for that use. And we'll go ahead and wrap all the way up to the eye. I've tied this fly too where you put a little glass rattle in the body. That works fantastic as well, especially if you're fishing dirty water and you want that fly to really get noticed by the fish. So I'm just doing tight touching wraps to form this body, and I'm stroking the fibers rearward as I go forward. I want some density here. This is a great design on a fly because this kind of bulky head is going to push some water, and it's also going to create a vortex behind it, so all that flash on the tail is going to wiggle like crazy. Take this all the way up to the eye of the hook. Fold that chenille back and wrap over it so it doesn't come unwound. Make ourselves a nice neat little head there. See if I can center this a little better so you can see the whole fly. And then we'll trim that chenille off. And then we can go ahead and whip finish. And then we're going to go ahead and darken up our dorsal surface on the fly here. I've just got a gray Sharpie, and I'm just going to go in there and color that up down the back of the fly, a little bit onto the sides. Just to make it look more like a bait fish. All right. And then we'll add a little bit of Solaris Bone Dry to the eye of the hook here, just to make this thing nice and durable. Alright, and we are almost done. We're going to add some eyes to this thing to make it look even a little bit more realistic. And before I do that, I want these eyes to adhere nicely to the head. So I'm actually going to take my scissors and kind of just very carefully cut out a little bit of my body material, just to give those eyes a nice little slot to fit into. I've done that on the near side of the hook. We'll go ahead and do that on the other side. If you don't take that step and cut a little space out, sometimes it can make it really difficult for your eyes to adhere to anything, and they'll come off after a fish or two. For my adhesive, you could use all sorts of things. Any kind of like a gel super glue works well. Lately I've been using a product called E6000, which you can find at any hardware store just about. It's a great waterproof adhesive. It absolutely reeks, so if you're doing a bunch of these, make sure you're in a well ventilated area before you get going on them. So I've got just a toothpick I'll use to kind of help with the process here. What I like to do is just get a little bit of that glue on the toothpick, and then I'll stick the eye to the glue. Use that toothpick to get it where I want it on the fly, and then I'll just take a flat surface like my scissors and kind of press that into place. And then we are ready for the other side. So on this one I'm using a 7/32 Super Pearl holographic eye. You could go a little bigger too if you wanted to. Got my eye on the toothpick. want to make sure I've got it roughly lined up with the eye on the other side. I'll use those scissors to press it down. And I think I'm in business. Last little step I'm going to do, and this is completely optional, but I'm going to take my scissors and kind of round that head a little bit just to give it a little bit more natural bait fish profile. The sides just a bit too. There we go. That's about where I want it, and there you have it. The Murdich Minnow, an absolutely fantastic smallmouth bass fly. Works great for big trout, bull trout, you name it. Absolutely a streamer worth having in your box. You can find the materials for this and many other flies at the Confluence Fly Shop in Bellingham, Washington. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos, and we will see you in the shop or on the water. Thanks for watching.